I always have with Yorick comps from draft, because gameplay, right, you can get afraid for a Yorick if a team falls behind because they don't have space to, extend lanes, but that, I just want to take it from a draft.
Here. Tarzan, theoretically could try to go for something very aggressive if he wanted to at level 3, and he is.
Yeah, it is cleanse on 1xN, not the barrier, so you don't get as much help with this dive. As 1xN is getting cornered, corralled towards his turret. It's going to cleanse the ignite. First kill's going to go down. 1xN flashes out. Tarzan, luckily, with the untargetable, is able to drop the aggro, because one more shot would have made that a big TT win.
Yeah, it's just a little bit greedy there for AL.
They are, but Xiaohongren definitely has to respect that Tarzan is going to hover here. Neither soul lanes are coming over to help the TT jungler, and Tarzan is just much stronger at this point off of that first kill. The tunneler versus no items for Xiaohongren, who maybe is just trying to play a bit of a stall job. Tarzan does take a lot of damage. Hoya now has arrived to try and cover, and Tarzan is way up creek with no paddle right now, stuck in the might of Yorick, and Hoya is going to slap him down.
At the very least, so that really coming in clutch for Seitab, understanding the limits there, but because of that play with Tarzan, it's going to be Xiaohongren that does actually secure that first dragon. I say that, but Kyle is here.
Smite check.
Smite should be available, yeah.
Oh my god. Kyle Yorick matchup. So, not what you always see in... This is a good time as ever to bring up that the last time I saw Flandra against TT on this Scion... Okay, we're gonna have to bring up that point later.
Feather?
As Kyle is throwing down dredge lines. Feather, though, able to stall out well. 1xN. Premier clicks as always, getting out maximum damage, but Tarzan does swing down first. The pack is out for revenge here as Kyle flashes away from the crash down, then throws the dredge line right at a dismounted Feather, serving up a kill on ice for Hope in AL.
Yeah, again, staying active for Tarzan, this time with a much more reliable play, but he's not done. They're going to look for the dive here on 1xN with the wave crashing.
Okay, Kyle did back. Tarzan throws himself right to the caution, into 1xN, drops the turret aggro, masterfully so Hope can get the kill through. Tarzan making up for those mistakes at the Krugs, finds himself his second kill of the game.
Yeah, it's unfortunate timing for 1xN. He hit level 6 in the middle of that fight. If he hits it just a couple of seconds earlier, perhaps he can thin the wave enough to actually dissuade that play, but we're not done.
Oh, Seitab. He wasn't expecting Kyle to be so close to cover to Shanks. Feather and Xiaohongren dive on in, but Kyle's health bar is really lasting. The Glacial Prison has to be committed for Kyle to finally drop. But a ton of resources allocated just to find a kill onto the level 4 Nautilus.
Yeah, it's a nice counterplay from Thunder Talk. They do it to try and secure grub priority here as they have spawned on the map, but Tarzan now here as well.
Behind.
Shanks is still full health. Teleport.
Feather does not have access to the Magnet Storm, and there's no ultimate for Xiaohongren, so they've definitely got to run their way out. Flandra does run into a bit of a wall. Doesn't matter. Getting the slows. Hoya does not have the flash available, so the knockup is going to land, and the Maiden is going to watch the Yorick drop and follow through. We talked about it going into this game. Both teams play very confident when they have themselves early leads. And AL are just dominating these cross-map plays. It feels like Tarzan is everywhere right now as Hoya is once again picked off. You don't do any damage to Flandra, and despite this, though, with the wave states not in control for AL, they are actually going to get bullied out of the pit. Problem for TT is they still don't have some of these ultimates coming online. The Glacial Prison is coming very soon, but Kyle is immediately going to be picked off, locked up with the Magnet Storm. Feather too far forward, but Kyle will not fall until the kills finally flow through. Fate Seal comes across for Seitab. He gets himself right back out where he came through, and it's going to have to be Tarzan once again, just like Game 1 the last time round, to try and clean up the fight for AL. But the only kill they end up finding is Seitab, and Tarzan is not going to dart over another wall into darkness.
Really, this Brush and Feather more than happy to be able to capitalize. Hope going to try to pull as much back as he can, but Xiaohongren once again kind of whiffing on that Sejuani ultimate. Not the first time this game that has happened. An awesome
and capitalize. The very man we just mentioned has the blast cone if he wants to get closer, but instead he's just going to cut down with the immediate dash. Seitab has nowhere to go, but back to base. Tarzan scrounges up his 4th kill of the game.
Tarzan is absolutely everywhere on the map as we see a bit of a replay of the kill onto topside here. Hoya going a little bit deep to have to get it. It sets Shanks up for the 1-for-1.
Not going to go quietly out of the river here. Like I said, trying to help Xiaohong Ren burn this thing down. They've got Satab coming from the top side as well. Top laners have TP advantage towards Hoya. We'll see if he joins the fight. Glacial Prison does go wide from Xiaohong Ren, and Tarzan just walks up, steals away the Eye of the Rift Herald. The Fate Seal from Satab falls just a couple yards short, and he pays the price. Timbers out from Shanks, Feather next to fall. AL dominating this top side river fight. York running away from structures is never a good thing.
Yeah, this has been the reason Annie has grown in priority so much, is it's constant pressure in the mid game. You can pretty much regularly drop Tibbers once that Malignance is built in the mid game, and especially if you get any sort of early action and early kills, as Shanks has done, it just becomes so difficult to actually contest as we see a teleport coming in from Hoya.
Shanks, you saw the TP, buddy.
Follow flash.
Okay, he is completely dead to the minions. That is some of the head scratching. Sort of switching up here by this point as they really try to lean into Hoya with some of these death brushes, but the vision from AL is just so on point. They spot 1xN and Feather hovering back towards this side, so Flandra has no reason to get anywhere close to his turret. And while that's going on, Hope knocks down the mid-tier 1 turret, going to rotate over, and Tarzan will be sneaky as ever, finding an angle to dash in on some of these carries, but he does have to be careful. Kyle, once again, singled out as the initial target, has to burn his flash back towards Hope, but Satab, off to his own world right now, won't be able to get through to the rest of the masses. Tarzan hopped on, using a target, will get right back over the wall, as AL continues to be as slippery as rubber.
Yeah, I mean, you can't catch AL, but it's well played by Thundertalk to actually be able to establish priority there. Tarzan ends up jumping over the wall to separate him and Nautilus. No setup there, so Otacon actually going to be started here by Thundertalk.
They have all of those Wombo ultimates except Xiaohong Ren's Glacial Prisons up in mere seconds. Can Tarzan steal another big 50-50? Kyle gonna brunt Feather. Tarzan gonna go on target, but the bullet time does hit its mark onto the Nefiri, but unfortunately, Satab's Fate Sealed falls flat once more, and Shanks knocks him down, and with that, you allow the resets for Tarzan to come
like that, but the problem for Satab here is I don't really foresee an easy way for him to get in so long as AL are keeping their mind on it. Hoya could be caught once again, though, here.
We've seen this play before. This Flandra is far too tanky to deal with, and Tarzan has his own minions or pack to try and deal with, but my lord, is the maiden making this one difficult. The ghouls are not to be trifled with Tarzan, and now Hoya gets to buy more space to get heals after heals. Untargetable does dodge out that big call towards the minions. So Tarzan able to find himself the kill, but looking a bit harder than it was earlier in the game.
Yeah, this time Shanks actually playing respectfully on the top side is going to back off and just seed the top lane tier 1, so it is just a 1-for-0. But interesting to see where Tarzan's putting the priority now. Sion's going to continue to push on the bot side, and Tarzan will be taking a lot of those camps. Baron is up. I expected more priority on Vision game around Baron at this point, but a 7-kill Nefiri is just a dangerous proposition. I don't think I need to tell anybody just how strong that is as Flandra takes the tier 2 here on the bot lane. Another big pickup for AL and the prize for that catch onto Hoya. But Satab once again...
Oh, yeah, no, never mind.
It's a
TP play
they don't
game,
want
man.
the Baron Vision. They want Hoya again.
All right. Slow comes across with that ult onto Flandra. Good job using the space bot by that big-time E drop through for Hoya, but Shanks has more than enough damage to just pop him if he gets the stun. And the pick play comes across with a single target damage comp.
Yeah, there's no pressure on the Baron because they have all of the priority over the area, so they just decide to pick up the free kill and
Satab! Oh, that is not a safe place to recall. Fate Sealed will not get you enough space. And we have an 8th kill coming through for Tarzan, repeating his Nefiri performance against the very team he smacked down just a month prior.
And that's a huge mistake from Satab, just overextending because he trusts his ability to be able to escape with the Fate Seal, but he's not able to get out. It's perfectly played, and AL catches him on the back. That's free Baron. There's no contest here. There's no way to actually do anything. The answer is actually going to be them taking away the dragon and, denying the soul at least for 5 more minutes, but this is Baron for 1 Chem Dragon. This is a gigantic win for AL, and it's all thanks to, Satab just being a little bit overextended here, and it might not even be Dragon.
Flandra! Oh my god, the bus is loose, and he's smacking down onto 1xN, who immediately burns both summoners. Flandra just casually 1 versus 2, does not even see Feather, and Xiaohong Ren cannot finish the dragon on his own. They left the Sejuani out to dry, and Tarzan flinks him into the wind. They do get the chemtech soul, K-Man. AL are grabbing everything on the map right now, and next might just be Hoya. If Tarzan can sleuth him out, and he will, face checks right into Hoya. who is probably the most formidable opponent right now for this Naafiri. But good thing for Tarzan, there is no friends left in this top side. A 9th kill comes
for anyone's legend, and so they're going to be sitting in a very, very dangerous spot, and Tarzan now sitting on 9 kills. He's going to be working for that 4th item. I imagine he'll have it on the back, the full item there, whatever he wants to go for, but it's gone from bad to worse for ThunderTalk, and I can't imagine it's going to get better at any point.
And another, pain point for this comp for TT that we're now seeing materialize that we kind of skipped over a bit, K-Man, and I'll give you a clue on what the problem is. Look at Flandra's build path and tell me what that signals about TT's comp.
Yeah, I think we're looking at a little bit of a damage profile, lack of diversity, we can just say.
Really?
So this Scion has become unkillable from this point onwards, and we're seeing that affect the map as we see the siege down now on the top side.
Flandra does not care about turrets. He cares about getting kills to his buddies. Goodbye, Feather. Shanks grabs that kill. Doesn't even need Tibbers this time. And we're using Wombo combo ultimates just to get out to safety. Glacial Prison does land on a Kyle, but boom goes the dynamite. Shanks drops Tibbers onto 3. And just like that, TT are melted under their own Nexus turrets. And Tarzan wants to put the cherry on top of this milkshake of a game for anyone's legend. Diving in onto Hoya. First Nexus turret's going to go down as Satab does recall. Minion waves coming across here, and Flandra is just so damn tanky. You can't stop this man. AL cannot be slowed down as TT are going to finally crumble to the might of one of the top contenders in the LPL to go up 1-0 in our series.
Top side, and I think especially with all of the safety you have elsewhere, you've got the Ezreal to not really worry. I think Nico historically is a matchup that I would actually consider pretty positive into Nami.
Hoya, who is one Shock Blast and combo away from maybe just killing off this Nasus. And Xiaohong Ren says, hey buddy, I'm here to set you up for it, but he whiffs the Vault Breaker. Just a mental note for Tarzan to maybe try and revisit. Time to play a fun game of counting everybody. Satab, you just watch a Cannon Minion go down just seconds ago, but instead he eats the Tangle Barb and Shanks before 1x and Feather even know it. They're trying to back away from the turret. Tarzan initiates with the first stun, knowing Feather has no flash. Great bubble from Feather, but it just doesn't matter. Tarzan gets it done.
Try and activate himself on the top side, equalize the play.
All right, Flandra drops the ultimate, goes into big dog mentality. Hoya gonna wait it out. Xiaohong Ren gonna re-engage though with the cease and desist, but Flandra is just not taking enough damage, and this time forces a trade. The Aurora can be, but the more I think about it, actually, this is an Aurora that isn't near doing any amount of damage that really makes this lane too rough for Flandra.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the swap here. You want to keep taking advantage of that Nasus, especially now with that ult, off of cooldown or coming off of cooldown in about 6 seconds. It looks like just going to be the trade here.
The way he moves so slow, trying to kill off Xiaohong Ren. Flandra really trying to make it a credence on Xiaohong Ren, even steal away any of these minions as Kyle flashes after Feather for the Tangle Bar. Double bubble though from Feather. Will not bail him out. This guy's been locked in on these bubbles from Global Ultimates, but
not kill him.
He survives again, and they lose the turret race too, K-Man.
Yeah, I'm confused by the play, to be entirely honest. It feels like a lot invested, and I felt like Flandra might have popped ult too early there, but now no longer the ult on that side.
All right, and this time the dive looks a lot cleaner. You get away from the wave. Okay, but here comes the Grand Starfall. Bubble doesn't land, but Tarzan's ult does fall pretty flat. Doesn't really set up any pick plays, but instead Satab walks right up to a brush, disrespects the vision, and hands Tarzan an
Tarzan's here as well.
All right, let's see how much those first item breakpoints do to burn through the health bar of Flandra as Feather picked off, trying to move his way up towards this topside play. The heal, the great dodge on the spear, keeps Feather alive, but all while we were waiting for this pick to come across towards the Nami. It's a 1-for-1 trade onto Flandra. Xiaohong Ren gives his life for the dive. TT are trying to find a prosperous play off of it as they pick off a tier 1 turret as well. Oh yeah, maybe looking for actions between worlds, comes across from Satab, but doesn't trap Kyle or Tarzan. The Pop Blossom turn comes across. Tangle Barb lands onto Satab as well. Does Tarzan have enough single target damage with the Sundered Sky? Yes, he does. And guess who showed up in the wind? It's Shanks with the Realm Warp, throwing down, finds 1 kill.
I didn't even realize the Wither was the trade there. Does he teleport Shanks caught out?
Yeah, we saw this in game 1. This time Tarzan's going to try to come to the rescue and does burn through Hoya's health bar. And look who's here to valiantly back up his superstar jungler. It's Kyle again. Xiaoheng Ren on the back foot. One more spear to the heart of the Vi should do it. But Saintab flashing forward actually makes it a trade. Luckily for AL, it's Hope to bail them out and make it a positive play. A double kill over to the Ez, who continues to try and find a shot-calling stance for this TT team. Keep them proactive and competitive. The tidal wave going to come down as what I said does a really good job keeping space between Tarzan. Chunks him below half HP. We saw a lot of 50-50 smite steals for Tarzan in game number 1. Can he step up with no HP this time round? Kyle flies in with the pop blossom. Xiaoheng Ren does get the Rift Herald, re-engages immediately with cease and desist, trades himself for Tarzan. Saintab hops himself over the wall to safety. Nobody has collected the Eye of the Rift Herald, but here comes Shanks into the Eye of the Storm of TT, flashing over the bubble. Does he have enough damage to knock down 1xN? Yes, he trades his life, but on the back end, down goes Hoya. Again, a messy, cluttered.
Try and, catch something out, catch anyone on the enemy team out with the pick. They have the tools to do so. Just going to be some vision trading back and forth between these two teams for now, but understandable that neither really want to blow the game.
Whoa.
I say that as Hope.
Hope gets completely rattled by the cease and desist, but the arcade shift gets him back out to safety. Xiaoheng Ren does not escape Tarzan's might as he follows him over the wall and slams him down. Saintab's heroics are just far too late. All he finds is a kill onto Kyle. Another multi-kill fight for Hope on the Ezreal.
This is why you pick the Ezreal. He can just arcane shift himself to safety and keep himself out of harm's way, and the counter engage is real. Saintab going into trade 1-for-1 at the end, but I feel like that's hugely negative. It leaves AL all the opportunity in the world to go now and take this Otacon, which they're going to have full priority on, and this thing's going to be gone.
Two-man, Tarzan and Shanks. Otacon with... I got you, K-Man.
Yeah, but Flandra continuing to control the map, and the problem for 1xN at this point is he's just stuck. Like, there's no way for him to move. There's no way for him to do anything. Saintab's just dead. Shanks just kills him.
Oh, I mean, the Rise is just so activated by this point. The Seraph's Roa is done. TT might be finished on this mid play without Saintab here. They're going to teleport Hoya in. The Grubs, though, are in the hands of AL, and if you give them a window, they're going to create a big hole in the building. Hoya having to flash away from Tarzan. In goes Xiaoheng Ren, throwing caution to the wind. Gets bopped down by Flandra. Shanks does fall to a good colding on the backside for 1xN, who finds a window to dash right into Hope's face. That's a trying to get over the wall. Dragon below half HP. The Tangle Barb, half HP Xiaoheng Ren. Does he want to dash into Tarzan and Flandra? No. With that chunk, they're going to give away a dragon that is pretty inconsequential. Just the second one for AL to grab. Good for TT, though, not forcing a fight that we've seen them do so many times.
I was going to get real upset if Thunder Talk forced a fight there. I was going to start getting a little bit antsy in terms of how they're playing the game, because there's just no reason to sell the game over second dragon, especially 25 minutes into the game, but they are able to hold themselves there. They were just looking for AL to overextend, which they do not do. Overall, again, inconsequential, but really the big objective now is going to be that Baron spawning up right now, and that's going to be the dance for AL. If they're going to be able to prioritize that, that's big.
Are we sure that's the main priority? Because it seems like this mid-tier 1 turn is what everybody wants. The Between Worlds, though, gets Kyle caught. 1xN able to step up for 1 kill, but now they got Xiaoheng Ren off to the side. One member dropping on both sides, with the solo lanes actually being down for TT makes this fight really hard to do with a low-range Lucian. 1xN has to be really careful about his dashes, and Shanks buying so much space, forcing Feather to flash away from him. Xiaoheng Ren, 1xN, and Feather actually going to watch their tower crumble, or do AL have bigger plans on the mind? The True Shot Barrage with the Otacon!
Before Thunder Talk consistently, they are eventually going to have to face check this, and they don't really have a good champion to do that. They have no frontline tank to be able to engage. It's going to be Xiaoheng Ren. He's going to have to do it, but he's going to get caught.
Oh, he's caught in the trap. Kyle sends, and look who flies right over the head. It's Tarzan into the fray once more. Shanks blinks behind TT. Shanks is flashing after, looking to send TT home in 2-0 fashion. Saintab and 1xN already at half HP, all scattered to the wayside. 5 strong. AL will turn to the big bad Baron.
Again, just highlighting the problem. No vision and no tank. There's no way to walk up on that, and if AL are just going to play aggressive, it's an instant death for the Vi. It's a free Baron for AL, and now you're looking at a...
Justifiably, you get worried about Flandra top lane picks, but this one is really fitting the bill of what AL needs. Is Xiaoheng Ren once again trying to be proactive, gets caught by a Tangle Barb, Pop Blossom. Kyle has been doing that all game long to Xiaoheng Ren, tormenting him in his own jungle. That is not the TT jungle anymore.
You just can't be there, and that's the case for the rest of Thunder Talk here. 1xN
Oh,
has a chance to get out, but
1xN.
his team doesn't.
And the GA saves Tarzan. He won't even fall. Pops back up with the banner. Known in purple marker. Another bubble from Feather, though. Finds its mark onto Shanks, but TT are so low range. How are they going to get anywhere near this Rise? Even the Between Worlds doesn't get Satab a shot at a kill. It's all up AL's lane as they blow through turret after turret. All the while this was going on in the mid lane, K-Man, look what Flandra has done with one Nasus ult and a couple of swings of the cleaver.
This is the problem. There's just no way to engage for Thunder Talk, and as we see AL really pressuring them out, they're going to look to end the game here, and they've definitely got the damage to do so.
They've got grubs, they've got confidence, they've got 5 members strong. The only thing anyone's Legend doesn't have right now is a series sweep, and a couple more Mystic shots might get them to that point. Hoya respawns, but it flashes back towards the fountain. Nexus turrets down. Domination. Anyone's Legends sweep out TT.